first race in Canada, we've arrived in Quebec, where Chris Cornwell is on pole from Christian Bentley and Ica World. Ahmed Zilia starts fourth from Devin Butler and Matías Antonio. Guillermo Perez is seventh from Dominic Hudson and Matthew Hart. Then it's Danny Ortega, Ray Shen, Rondon Animate, and Kazuki Takahana. Zenzo is 14th from Vita Alves and Francis Austin. Then in 17th is Lan Fong, followed by Kari Lopez. The season 15 for the champion. Takuso Carrera is 19th at number 19, and it's Kloske, Ponte, Franco, Nyla, and Vansilao. Well, we did have some rain in practice, but the clouds have parted, for the ChampCar Grand Prix of Quebec is about to get underway. And we are green in round 3 of season number 7. Brilliant start off the line from the American in the number 32. Chris Cornwell, however, holding on to the race lead for now. It's a very long run down into the opening chicane. Bentley going level, and he'll have the inside line as well. Here comes the 32, and this Sims 888, but he flies off the track, and there's a lot of carbon fiber flying in the mid-pack. But aside from all of that, and Nyla getting a time penalty, we've kept it quite clean as Devin Butler in the 71 going side by side with Cornwell, and in fact moving up into the race lead, almost enforced into the wall. The British driver in the 71 for Power Motorsport now with front wing damage. We're back under the green flags, and that is going to hinder the Englishman's day. Unfortunate for the man in the 71. He's now 3 seconds off the back of Chris Cornwell. He's looking for that first race win with Nord Hyperdrive, his second in the ChampCar World Series. As we look back with the Beyblade X Hyperdrive racing car. Coming through the final corner, 3.7 seconds is the margin out front. 4 seconds, in fact. Matteo Kloske for Trackhouse Racing in the number 22, getting a 5-second time penalty. That seems to be for causing a collision. We're on board with Matteo. And he's looking for a little bit of pace, and I don't know if he'll find it too easily at the very least. And we've got yellows. Oh! Well, that's not good at all. Matías Antonio and Kari Lopez, a lot of yellows flying in the opening chicane. No one going anywhere quickly. I believe that was Matías Antonio and Ahmed Zilia involved in an incident there. Damage for the 78, not as visible as it is for Matías as they fly through turns 4 and 5, close to the wall there, and into the wall for Ahmed. The rear absolutely going for a rodeo, which is weird. We're not in Texas, we are in Quebec. Cornwell getting a track limits warning as he is flying out in front. His brother had a pretty good race in the FG series over in Italy. Well, it was pretty good until he unfortunately crashed out down at turns 4 and 5. The track there quite similar as Austin with an off. It seems someone's had an off at the very least in Sector 3 because there are yellow flags flying. Is that for Christian Bentley? It isn't. It's for Devin Butler. So Devin Butler has gone off-road. A little bit of an extracurricular activity, it seems. Very, very chaotic opening set of laps here. And it's good that Butler came into the pits when he did. Otherwise, that could have been him out of the race. And I still don't know what happened down there. Chris Cornwell leading this race, and it's hit the wall. The 96 of Chris Cornwell has hit the wall in the opening chicane. And Christian Bentley also hit the wall. No! Oh, it's a pile-up down at turns 4 and 5. The big one has happened. Zenzo in the wall in the number 91 Del Coin car. Tries to get it back on track. That could have gone a lot worse, but still a lot of contacts as now Christian Bentley is your race leader. We go green again. For some reason, we're green. I don't think I would. I would have called the caution. Actually, they're two hyperdrives now, both with front wing damage. So don't be surprised to see them do a double stop. Bentley's got damage as well. Matthew Hart is likely going to be the fastest man out of the top 10. Is that Matías Antonio again flying? It could be. It is. And it's with Ahmed Zilia again. These two are colliding with each other at every possible opportunity today. I've got no clue why. Hart's got a time penalty. So into the pits comes your race leaders. Someone staying out from the two Nord hyperdrives, and it is Chris Cornwell. I would have called him in on lap 4 of 13. Dominic Hudson takes the lead away from the reigning FG Series champion, who's about to make his first starts in Formula E, believe it or not, due to Verstio's injuries last time out, taking him out of the season. Danny Ortega, the Spanish driver, I don't know what the combined term for that is, but he leads for sure. Sergio Carrera's heading off as also into the wall. Danny Ortega, let's take a look at Davi Sergio. He's on the other side of the chicane. Is there anyone else involved in that? Doesn't seem to be, but we do have yellows in the first and second sectors, which have now been cleared up. Doesn't seem like Cornwell was involved in that, thankfully, because he's already having quite the terrible day in the office. Sergio Carrera with major damage to that front wing. The number 3 of Guillermo Perez making his way through the chicane quite cleanly. Can't say the same for Davi. Throws it into the wall in that 19 car. Looking back, it's a big struggle for these guys. Just keep it on the road, it seems, as there goes Dominic Hudson in the 31. Up into the race lead. And I do have to mention this. Brilliant stuff from Vita Alves in the number 12. Currently, very, very strong showing from this Brazilian man who now comes into the pits. I think the entire top 5 dives down into pit lane. Don't be surprised if we see more. I'm surprised to see Belgium's Mario Klosket stay out on lap 5 of 13 and become your race leader here in Quebec, Canada. We're going to have a lot of Canadian races this season, this of course being the first. And Ica World's heading off! What on earth is happening down at the chicane? Looks like Sims and Ponce involved, and that's not how you rejoin. That is not how you rejoin. That is absolutely out of order for the Italian driver in the number. Oh no, someone's off again at the opening chicane. It's Mario Klosket from the race lead, who's hit the wall, looking back with Christian Bentley as he's trying to get past his teammate, and he does, but he hits the wall in the process. My goodness me. We keep seeing these drivers with low grip hit the wall, and there it is again for Matthew Hart. Front wing damage. For the Scottish drivers, there can't be more. There is more. It's Francis Austin down at the chicanes. At this point, we might just not cover it. Whatever's going down at that turn 4-5 chicane as we go on board with the pole sitter, Chris Cornwell on the set of hard tyres. Got some drivers who are still yet to stop as Klosket gets passed by Ray Shen, who won the first race of last season. In they come. And we've got yellows in Sector 2. Don't tell me who that is. It's for Matthias Antonio. My goodness. We keep seeing chaos and carnage down at turns 4 and 5. Now I'm just thinking maybe they should implement a permanent speed limit. Vita Alves, for the first time in his ChampCar career, takes the race lead. I don't know if you want to be leading this race. In fact, I don't know if you want to be in this race at all. Dominic Hudson goes around the outside of the Brazilian to take the race lead away. And in fact, Christian Bentley, despite the front wing damage, still thinks he's got something to fight for here. Is he going to make a lunge? He's not going to make a lunge, but into the wall go the top 3! All of them hitting the barriers. Hudson, Alves, Bentley, none of them safe from that wall's ferocity, it seems. And Butler is out of the race. Your first retirement here in Canada is Devin Butler, as it's a rear puncture for Lam Fong. Look at that. Can just about make it out with our cameras. That's a much better look at it. And my oh my. This is absolutely terrible at half race distance to have this many cars crashing. Getting so much damage, the team's certainly going to have to be footing an enormous bill, because I don't think ChampCar themselves will do so. Ahmed Cilia with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. We're looking at his teammate Brandon Animates. As more, oh no, what has happened down there? Big slide for Lam Fong due to the puncture. Oh, contact with Austin. Ah! Oh, dearie me. That was Sergio Carrera totaling Lamfong's car there. Austin's got damage. Ponte's got damage. Cilia, thankfully, doesn't have damage. Circurera's got a lot of damage, and I think I already mentioned Francis Austin. So we're on to lap 7 of 13. Perez leads from Ortega and Cornwell. Quite possibly three of the fastest drivers in the field, who just haven't had the opportunity all season long to show off their pace. Coming out of turn number 3 there. On board we go with the Spaniard. Ray Franca has got a time penalty, so that's a big spin for the number 3 of Gamal Perez. He's got damage, he's facing the wrong direction. Ray Franca behind already with a time penalty, as already mentioned. Bentley flying through the chicane. And ooh! The two Trackhouse drivers colliding there. Close to the wall, but thankfully not into the wall for Ahmed Cilia. I think Sims is about to show us how it's really done, and that is how you are meant to get through that chicane. It's a very nice pass through. Cornwell trying to get a good run on Danny Ortega here. Go on board with Chris Cornwell in the number 96 Nord Hyperdrive. Certainly one of the standout rookies of last season. Looking for a pass on the Team Penske driver in front of him. Doesn't need it. Ortega down into pit lane. Cornwell to the race lead from the rookies of Kimi Nyla and Brondon Animate. Didn't expect to see these two near the front now, did we? That's down on their tyre strategy, of course. Using the hard tyres a lot more than the rest of the field. And these hards, they're able to maintain a relatively mediocre pace for a lot longer. Francis Austin down in 21st position, getting a 5-second time penalty for track limits. He's fumbling under zero pressure as we're on board with Chris Cornwell. Gets close to the wall, but thankfully doesn't touch it. The sign does say no touching, guys. As Ica, Senzo! The sign says no touching! Oh! Upside down for Ray Franca. And the cautions come out. 15 seconds worth of time penalties from contact. That's not going to be served by the Brazilian. But the cautions are out here on lap 8 of 13. At the very least, they are about to end with 5 laps left in this race. We do still expect at least one more pit stop, but that, of course, implies everyone's got another set of hard tyres to use, which we can confirm they do not. Some teams, actually, have already used all of them. We've got yellows in the second sector. That's for Francis Austin. And almost for Antonio Ponte there. Vita Alves going side by side with Ica World. Side by side through the final corner in the 12. Getting the better run. Likely due to the fact his front wing's still intact. He's up into 6th now. Ortega, Perez all getting time penalties. For very different reasons indeed. Cilia getting a track limits penalty further down the order. But it's Chris Cornwell who leads from Dominic Hudson and Kimi Nyla. Look at Hudson, look at the run he's got! Up into the race lead for the Malaysian! Brilliant stuff from the 31 who hits the wall! Oh, from one of the best passes I've seen in quite some time. Brilliant use of momentum there. It's into the wall for Ray Shen. Just unraveled at the worst possible opportunity for the 31. He's got damage and he can't use any attack charge. Well, he'll be able to when he pits as Sims is into the wall. Tries to straight it up again. He crashed out on the last lap in London. Thankfully, we're under the green flags in the second sector again. Look at how close everyone is pushing it to the limit. It's into the wall for Ahmed Cilia. Once again. Well, we keep seeing the track getting cleared according to the ERL stewards, but at this point, I don't know if we're going to see this track clear entirely at any point in this race. Cornwell moves up into the race lead on lap 10 of 13. 5-lap old hard compound tyres. At this stage, I feel like the mediums could get him to the end. Ponte getting a track limits time penalty. Is Bentley looking for a move? You bet he is. Almost has it. Contact made between the two former Trackhouse teammates. And I think he might be able to hold on here. Cornwell looking to the outside, but he's not got the run. He doesn't have it at all. Those hard tyres have giving him what he needs for the last time as he hits the air. Bentley also into the wall, both of them with damage. But thankfully, they're both still in the race, but 1.4 seconds now separates the pair. 3 seconds, 3 laps to go rather, as Akari spins it round and round like a record, baby. McCutcheons close up as Perez going side by side with his teammate Matias Antonio hitting the wall. Klosket almost hitting the wall there as well. And look at this as we go on board with the 91. Zenzo in 18th place slams the wall. And this is what we see often on board with Kazuki Sims. That is what you expect, but drivers experimenting with new lines all the time. You can't always get it the exact same, and it requires a very, very similar process to get the exact same, turn through those chicanes. It's now a 1-2 for Forsyth Racing. Can you believe that? Kimi Nyla leading this race from teammate Matthew Hart. In reality, Hart is the man who will currently win it. We've got 2 laps to go. Let's see where everyone's going to funnel out and re-emerge. Here comes Antonio Ponte side by side with Matias Antonio. Up into 6th place for the Italian driver. Unfortunately, we don't have any Canadian drivers, but the Canadian team being at the front into the wall for Matthew Hart. Still a pretty good showing from them. Big hit for rookie Brondon Animates. And we've got more yellows in the 2nd sector. Is that just for Brondon? I believe it is. Because we should be going green again, are we? We are now green again. It took quite a while though. Maybe the ERL stewards just wanted to make sure. Bentley getting past Cornwell, who's bottled up behind Vita Alves and Matias Antonio. Almost a bit of contact there as they now get past the ailing KV racing car. Austin now with damage. And I doubt Nyla's going to actually be able to make it to the end of this race with the tyres that he's got. We're on to the penultimate lap. 7 laps on the same set of hard compound tyres. He's made 1 stop in this race. And from the back of the pack, he could actually be on to win this race. Now I think about it, I don't see these tyres dropping off too much. The question is, will they blow up? 18% on this penultimate lap as Zenzo gets a track limits warning as there's caution in the opening sector. My goodness! Down the straight, Ray Shen facing backwards on the main straight. Looks like there's more in the opening chicane possibly. Or maybe it's still just Shen. It is just Shen who's got major damage. Looks like, yes, Ica World involved in that as well. That's why he's got front wing damage. Kimi Nyla still keeping it as clean as he humanly can. Ponte in 5th. We go on board with the 94. Goes airborne. Brondon Animates involved in that too. And it's a pile-up. The big one in Quebec. Oh, this is what we've been fearing all race long as Ortega just slides. Shen behind him as our camera is really struggling here. I think we got it cleared up again. We're back under the green flags. Nyla, your leader, on 10% time where I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the end. Hudson up into 2nd place past Matthew Hart, who's really just trying to stay in it because he knows if he can just make it to the checkered flag, he's got an opportunity to win. As the 2 Sims drivers getting past Brondon Animates, who really is struggling with that damage. Chris Cornwell can't find a way to get through the pack. But on this final lap, we could see a rookie win this race. 6 seconds is the margin to Hudson. 10 seconds the margin to Kimi Nyla's teammate. He's run 8 laps on the same set of hards, and that's 8 laps too many. Thrown it into the wall. Hudson closing up, and he's into the barriers as well. Well, that helps out the Britain. Matthew Hart comes through and slides into Dominic Hudson. Also into the wall, Guillermo Perez. And contact in the opening chicane as they go 3 wide. My goodness me, what a final lap we are seeing here in Canada in our first race in Quebec. Unbelievable. 3% for Kimi Nyla, and more carnage is for Vita Alves this time. as the race leader is making his way into the final corner, into the wall for Brondon Animates there. But meanwhile, Kimi Nyla hits 1%, 0%, flying through the final corner. 9 seconds the margin to his teammate. It doesn't matter. It's a rookie winner in Quebec. Kimi Nyla wins the Quebec Grand Prix in the ChampCar World Series. And it's a 1-2 for Team Forsyth as Matthew Hart comes across the line in second. Perez is third from Hudson and Bentley. And Weiser Alves has got 15 seconds worth of time penalties. That's a record set in the ChampCar World Series. And we've got a caution. It's for 2 cars. Oh! That's bad. That is terrible there for Vansalau and for Brondon. But we have seen a lot worse in this league. I think Ponte's got, yes, full car puncture for Ponte. As Antonio comes to the line. And talk about putting on a show in your first race. That is your Quebec Grand Prix in the ChampCar World Series. Kimi Nyla, now a race winner in the ERL and only his third start from not finishing last time out on the final lap to victory. Extending the tyres to a point no one thought possible. He did 8 laps on the same set of hards. Here is your podium. Kimi Nyla for Team Forsyth taking the win. And it's his teammate Matthew Hart in second as well. That's a brilliant showing for Team Forsyth, who really seem to have seen themselves enter a second era in the time in ChampCar. Guillermo Perez coming across the line in third. Even despite those time penalties, some of these finishers stay where they are, as you can tell. Hudson, fourth from Sir Carrera and Cornwell. Close K for Trackhouse Racing and seventh from Bentley and Sims, with Ica World rounding out the top 10. Zenzo just outside of the points from Daniel Ortega and Akari Lopez. Then it's Weiser Alves, Armin Cilia, Francis Austin and Ray Shen from Matias Antonio and Antonio Ponce. The non-finishers were Brondon Animates and Dominic Vansalau on that final lap. Roy Franco, Lam Fong and Devin Butler. So in the points, still the 31 of Dominic Hudson up top from Christian Bentley and Daniel Ortega. Kimi Nyla is now up into fourth from Chris Cornwell and Ahmed Cilia. Akari Lopez is seventh from Matthew Hart and Ica World. Then it's Davi Circurara, Guillermo Perez, Lam Fong and Ray Shen. From Brondon Animates, Matthias Antonio, Matteo Klostke, Francis Austin, Ray Shen, Kazuki Sims, Ray Franca, Devin Butler, Dominic Vansalau, Antonio Ponte, Weiser Alves and Zenzo, with everyone behind Sims yet to score any points. While taking a look at the constructors' standings heading into the fourth round of the championship, Target Chip Ganassi lead the points from Forsyth Racing and Nord Hyperdrive. Then it's Sims 888 TGR, Conquest Racing, and Team Penske, followed up by Power Motorsport, Dale Coin Racing, Andretti Autosport, Dragon Racing, KV Racing Technology, and Trackhouse Racing. Somehow, Hudson still leads the points. That's great to hear, because this means we've now got a very, very close fight for the title. I know it's only round 3 of a 15-round championship, but still, to have the gap between first and fifth being 13 points. We are in a brand new era for this league and for this series. Coming up next, the ERL Formula E World Series hits its third round of their championship. So from all of us here at Sparkplug Motorsport, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching, but now we've got to tune out. So long from Quebec, Canada, and we will be back for more ERL racing when the ERL returns.